Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick tutorial on parameter maps in data modules. Now, they're not exactly called parameter maps in data modules as they were called in Framework Manager. So everyone who is familiar with metadata modeling and Cognos Analytics knows that in Framework Manager, there's something called parameter maps where you can use them to substitute one value for another. So for example, a session parameter could be substituted for another value that you have in your data. In this particular example, what we're going to show is using an uploaded spreadsheet that has two columns in it, a key column and a value column. So the key column is the value that we're going to be passing in to our macro, which we'll show in just a moment. And we're going to substitute that value for another value. These values represent a catalog name in a SQL Server database. So if we have a run locale of en, we're going to want to use this particular catalog in the database. And if our run locale is fr, we're going to want to use go sales dwx as our catalog. So how do we do that? So currently, if we go and show the query information for this particular table, so when we query the database, you can see down here in the SQL that we're going after this particular catalog, go sales DW. But we do have the option to go into the properties of the data source. In the advanced properties, you can override specific items such as the data server connection, the catalog, the schema. In this case, in this example, we're using the catalog. So if we go look at the macro that has been created here, we're using something called QueryValue. And the QueryValue allows you to go and query a table that's in the data module and bring back a particular column from that where some condition is true. And if you look in the Functions tab here under Macro Functions and you scroll down in the list, you'll see QueryValue and get the tool or the tips on how to use this along with an example. So in this particular case, the spreadsheet that I just showed you, we are asking for the value in the value column where the key is equal to whatever run locale we have. And we're putting that run locale in single quotes to equate to this key value because this is a string in the table. And to see the values that are available to you in the session parameters, you can go to the core documentation and you can see run locale is here, account default name, username, etc. And additional session parameters can be added through your authentication provider, and that should be in the core documentation topics as well. But we're going to use the default values that are returned to you in the session parameters. So in this case, we're going to use run locale. Okay, so if I now go and switch my locale language, my content language, to French, and then reload this page, we're going to go back and look at that same query information from the same table that we just looked at. And this time we'll see that that macro at runtime dynamically swapped out the catalog that we're going against based on my run locale, in this case FR. And it's that simple. And this can be used for any scenario where you would like to dynamically swap one value for another. There's another video on our channel regarding multilingual metadata and data in data modules that also illustrates using this query value function in macros. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial.